effect that an audience has on the performers is something that people don't really talk about, except for like this. You know what I mean? On a podcast, no. Like when we're just sitting around, like, I can't tell you how many gigs that I've played. It's like, in the first two tunes, it's like, you know what? I'm playing well or I'm playing bad, but it doesn't matter because this audience doesn't care. And so then you resolve in that moment, my energy is not going to come from the audience for tonight. It's only going to come from in here. That is my mindset for the rest of the gig.
I feel like this is so much cooler than when we have the program for the classical concert.
What do you mean?
Written out already.
Yeah,
the audience comes because they know that we're going to be playing Tchaikovsky's Fourth Symphony and whatever violin or cello
leaves no room
concerto.
for like reading.
So we know that we're going to be doing this and this and this and this in this particular order, and we can improvise. We can't decide. The conductor is never going to decide in the middle of the concert. Okay, well, we're not going to do this Tchaikovsky Symphony now, everybody. Let's go and do Mahler 1.
Right.
Like, it's...
Wow, that would be nuts.
Can you imagine if that could actually... this would be so cool.
All right, everybody,
and the
pull
whole
out chart number...
Not even chart.
Turn in your hymnal to...
Well, that's the other thing. What if the orchestra knew all these symphonies from memory and you can just go and do it?
That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Do you think an audience would get up and walk out if they showed up to an orchestral concert and they played like a totally different...
Not today, but... That happened.
What about tomorrow?
And the next day.
Maybe tomorrow and the next day.
Okay.
And the next day.
Right.
But there were cases where back in the day, for example, I'm thinking what year, and I'm thinking I can't give the exact year. I'm very bad with years. I can't remember them, and it's so hard for me.
Don't worry about it. But you will be quoted.
If you remember, in the comments.
But I'm talking about 20th century.
Don't look it up.
I'm talking about what was considered contemporary music in the early 20th century. There was John Cage, for example, let's say. What other composers, if they come to mind? There's just so many. But there were examples where in the middle of the performance, the orchestra, I know, for example, with the Louisville Symphony Orchestra, will be performing a brand new composed piece by some contemporary composer in the early 20th century, and the audience will start whistling and screaming and clapping and just wanting them to stop because they could not take this anymore. They were done.
Wow.
They could not want to listen.
When was this?
They didn't want to listen anymore. It's like early mid 20th century.
Okay. Was this in America?
Yeah, Louisville Symphony Orchestra, for example, was one of those. They commissioned a lot of new works.
England.
Louisville, the Louisville Symphony Orchestra was one of the first symphony orchestras that started commissioning a lot of what was considered back then contemporary music.
Huh.
And it was very interesting. There are videos on YouTube, actually, that you can go and see.
Do you guys think that the older that our popular music gets, the more and more like rigid and like still people will be when they listen to it? Like, like 70, 80 years from now, somebody will be like, today we will be performing the classical piece September by Earth, Wind and Fire, and everybody will just go like snap, snap, and on stage they'll be like, and then it'll all get done, and they'll go like.
No, but you can't clap because then you have to go into.
You can't clap because we
have to go into Boogie
Wonderland.
You think like the further and further away that people get from that music?
No.
That'd be so funny. Tonight we'll be performing Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
And you cannot clap.
Yeah. People are like, oh, I love this classical.
You can always.
Whatever.
God, I hope so.
I think that would be so funny.